Beautiful. Let's take in that deep breath of peace, shall we? Breathe out. And create some peace out into your space all around you. Okay, so today's class we're going to focus on lower back pain, hip pain, sciatica pain. Well, we're not focusing on the pain. We're going to focus on reducing the pain in those areas as well as developing stronger backs and stronger cores. Okay, so we're going to begin on our backs. So lie on your back and bring those knees into the chest and just rock around a little bit. Move those hips, relax your shoulders, loosen up your lower back a little bit. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And just allow yourself to connect with the mat, connect with the earth, get grounded. And keep your legs as they are. Just bring the arms out in a T position. Roll your knees to one side as you exhale and your head goes to the opposite direction. Inhale, bring everything center, your head and your legs, and exhale, twist to the other side. And do that a few more times. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Breathing in, breathing out. We're just going to loosen up the lower back a little bit. Loosen up those hips. Like I said, we're going to do some deep hip stretches, which will ultimately affect your lower back in a positive way. Bring your arms alongside your body. We're also going to do some core strengthening. And so all of this to support the health of the hips and the back. And the strong core is where it's at. So even as you lift up, know that you're doing so from your strong core and return your strong core back downward towards your mat. Inhale your strong core up and exhale your strong core down. Sometimes doing bridge, we have a tendency to muscle up with the hamstrings or muscle up with the lower back or muscle up with the glutes. But instead, bring your awareness to your core and lift it and lower it. Very much in control. So the ribs stay closed. You don't have to lock them and make them really tight. But in order to keep the core engaged, then that means we have to contract the abdominal muscles to a certain extent. Close the ribs a little bit, yep. And yes, of course, the hamstrings and the buttocks are involved in this, but they're not the primary movers. Let your strong core be the primary mover here. Inhaling up. And exhaling down, and we'll do that just one more time. Remember, we're just warming up. Perfect, bring it down. And hands on the knees, and circle those knees around in a circle. Move them around, move them around. Breathing. Change direction. And we'll rest one foot and straighten up this one. And let's get the ankle joint energized. Pointing and flexing and just moving it all around. And then let the ankle rest and relax completely while your leg begins to lengthen a little bit more. And you might get some of the bend out of that knee. And then just soften the elbows. Bring the leg closer and closer towards the torso. Use the breath. These aren't our deep stretches yet. These are just warming up. Rest this foot down next to the other one. We'll do the same thing here. Get that ankle joint going. A little energy down there in the toes. Go ahead and wake those toes up. And then we can let the whole entire foot and ankle relax while we work on straightening out this leg. It doesn't mean that your leg will definitely straighten out, but move it in the direction toward being straighter. And if holding here is too much, slide your hand down to the knee or the calf or behind the thigh. And just breathe, open the hamstring. Good. If you can, bring the leg in a little bit more. Not to worry, we'll get warmer and deeper stretches. Bring those feet together, and we're coming up again. We're going to stay up this time. Feet flat on the floor. And then just bring your mind to this area from your hip bones to the bottom rib, almost like a square or a rectangle, depending on how long your torso is. Right? So we've got a nice, strong core. Notice your lower back muscles are gently pushing your upper body up, or the front body up. Good. And then lower all of that back down again. And arms in T position. Rock again from side to side, this time with the feet on the floor. So just take your time. Like I said, we're just loosening up. Loosen it up. Heat it up. Get it warm. Get it ready. Because we're coming in and we mean business in a loving way, in a kind way. This is one of the kindest things we can do for our bodies. Strengthen where we need to get strong and get deeper stretches and more open. So if you can do both feet at the same time now, and again, you don't have to hold on at your ankles, and your knees might be somewhat bent, and that would be just fine. As long as you're moving the heels away from the body and giving the opportunity for these hamstrings to open up. So wherever that is for you, to get your legs a little more lengthened, stay here and breathe, relax the shoulders wherever your arms are, let them relax. We're holding on, but they're relaxed. It's almost like the weight of your relaxed shoulders deepens your stretch. Hamstrings, the ACL ligaments behind your knees, your lower back, whatever's tight, relax it. Go ahead, take a deep breath in. Breathe out and relax whatever's tight. Very nice. And keep the hands exactly where they are. Just start to bring the feet farther and farther and farther apart. Take your time. Go slowly. Go slowly. Check out what's happening every bit of the way. Just let gravity start to take your legs, your arms, of course, still pressing those heels away from the body. Breathing open, the inner thighs, the hamstrings, and anything else that wants to open. Use the breath to help it stretch open a little bit more. I will bring the bottoms of the feet together, heels to the groin, so I'm holding to the outside edges of my feet, but maybe for you it's your ankles, or maybe it's just right here at the knees. But do bring your feet together as if in prayer position. Draw the heels in towards the groin and send the knees away from the body. You'll feel some more hip opening happening here. So gently pressing those knees away from the midline of your body while your shoulders and your arms get to stay fairly relaxed. They're just kind of supporting here, but we're not pulling, we're not yanking, we're not forcing. Open, open, open. The trapezius opens. As the knees press away from the body, your hips and your inner thighs open. And it feels fabulous. You know it does. Good, good, good. And we're going to keep the legs as they are, but just rest the outer edges of the feet on the floor. And if you find this to be painful in any way, you know, don't do anything that's painful in any way. Okay? So we're going to take the arms overhead. Let the knees just drop. Let gravity just happen now. You don't have to press them down. But do stretch. So your back is going to come up off the floor a little bit. Your lower back, maybe even your middle back. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then release the arms to where your fingertips are behind your head. Take a breath in. Breathe out completely. Really feel those ribs closing. And the abdominal muscles are very much deeply contracted. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Catch your breath here. Drop back, breathe in. And then deeper into this contraction. Breath in. And then as you exhale, the belly button pulls in, the ribs close, all the muscles of your stomach tighten up even more and more. Catch your breath, and again, if you want to put a hand on your stomach so you can really feel what's happening there. We're not pulling the head. 2 more of those. Use the breath. I want you to force the breath out so much so that the stomach muscles just tighten up. Breathe in. And 1 more time. Make it good. Deep contraction. Very nice. And we're going to bring those knees back to center. Hug them. Move them around. Make it feel good. Make it feel good. Very nice. And then we're going to roll. Bring your head up off the floor. Just roll a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Chin to chest. Shoulders down from your ears. Breathing in as you roll back. Breathing out as you come up. And again, start to focus on the core. We're working on core strength. So one of the best ways to, when we're working on anything, is obviously to think about it. So think about that core. Pull those belly muscles in. Yes. Strong core. So strong that at one point you come up and you're like, oh, my core is so strong, I could just balance right here. So go ahead and just balance right there. Maybe let go. So we're coming into a boat pose. Any variation of boat pose, but it's all core work. Feel that. If your knees are bent, they're bent. If they're straight, they're straight. If your arms are here, they're here. If they're here, doesn't matter. What matters most, thinking, feeling, working core, which is not just the stomach, you know, it's the lower back as well. And the inner thighs, the pelvic floor. So if you know Kegel, do that as well. This is all part of the core. It's not just a very simple, oh, it's my stomach muscles. No, it's a lot. Pull the shoulder blades down. then rest your feet on the floor and come into a table pose. So this is a back strengthener. Good. Chest lifts, hips lift. Breathing, strengthening the back. And return to your boat. Core. Front muscles, back muscles working simultaneously and as equally as you can. So if your stomach feels like it's doing all the work, then let your back get involved. If your back feels like it's doing too much work, that means you might need to activate your stomach muscles a little bit more. Draw the shoulders down from your ears. Use the shoulder blades. Draw them down the spine. And we'll come into table pose once again. Where the feet are hip width and parallel. Where your hands are shoulder width and parallel. Stay here, strengthening. And let's do that one more time. Return to your boat pose, whatever variation of boat pose. And if you've been doing the last two in a way that's kind of easy, then up your ante a little bit. For me, it'll be little pulses. Pull the belly button in more, most especially below the belly button. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more time in our table pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades. It's part of our core. Lengthen your neck, don't let it drop. Very nice. And we're going to lie on our backs again. Bring the knees into the chest. So our focus is core strength and deep hip stretches. All to support the health of the hips. For those of you that suffer sciatica. Okay, so cross one foot over the thigh of the other leg. And then reach through. Come through that little opening that you have there. And draw the legs into the torso as best you can. Breathe. Stay there. Just bring your hands further around if you can and hold on to that bent leg. The one, well, it's my left leg. My right leg is crossed over top. And it's my left shin that I'm drawing in. And then the leg that you're holding on to, straighten it out if you can. And then hold on at the ankle or the toes or the ball of the foot. But we're drawing the straight leg in, getting a deeper hip stretch. If you're finding that's too deep for you, you know what to do, right? You're going to go back to the one that you're thinking, yes, this was better for me today. Use your strong arms to bring that leg in even more if you can. Sweet. And then we're going to unwind all of this. Now I'm placing my left leg on top of my right thigh, going through that little circle there behind my hamstring, just holding this. So I'll call this level 1. If you reach behind or beyond the hamstring onto the shin, I'll call this level 2. It's a little bit deeper. If it's too deep, you're going to back off. Because you love yourself. That's why. No pain. We don't need pain. If you can, straighten out this leg. Grab hold somewhere behind the calf or the ankle or the foot, whatever you like. And it might be enough just to hold it. And then maybe little by little you could bring this leg in closer towards your torso. But do give your glutes a chance to relax here. So don't be pulling where everything's tight. Your upper body's holding this leg nice and strong so that your lower back can release. And you might just feel that stretch go right up through the hamstring. Very nice. And unwind all of that. And let's just do a happy baby pose. We want to make sure that the muscles, the core muscles especially, are warmed up and ready to go, because in order for what we're going to do today with our core strength, in order to strengthen it, is some planks. Planks are excellent core strengtheners. Okay, so speaking of plank, we're going to rock like we did before. You'll eventually get enough momentum that you can come all the way here, take your hands to the floor. Maybe you'll fall, maybe you won't, but it's not a long drop, so that's the upside. And we're just going to hold plank. If your butt's way up in the air, that's down dog. So you want to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Press through the heels, draw the abdomen up. We're core strengthening here. Rest those knees, do cat, cow. And just move that spine. Roll your toes under. Jump your feet or walk them up to where your hands are. We'll walk at first. And then you're going to sit down and you're going to roll again. You're going to come up to the balls of the feet. Maybe you'll jump back or step back into plank. Make it a good, solid, strong plank. Below the belly button, pulling up. Tiny little pelvic tilt will engage more of the core muscles, so think about that. Walk or jump your feet up to where your hands are. Roll back, and do that again. And you see, the more we do anything, the better we get at it. Hold a nice, strong core. Walk or jump your feet up to where your hands are. And it's so much fun, we're going to do it again. Yeah, breathe out. Right on into your plank. Look how strong you are. And one more time. Let's do it. Last one's best. Tighten up the buttocks. Right below the belly button. Pull it up. Close those ribs. And we'll rest the knees. Cat-cow. Breathe out. Breathe in. Being more fluid here, unlike the plank where we're very rigid. Think about stretching the back while you tighten up the stomach. Think about opening the stomach while you tighten up the back muscles when you do your cow pose. Okay, and a flat back. One arm, opposite leg, draw the stomach up. Think about your core. Use your core, get your focus. Think about it. See how aware you can become of the core muscles lowering the arm and the leg. Your core is doing that. Not gravity taking your arm and leg. Opposite sides. Your core is bringing these legs, this leg and this arm up. Stretch. Close those ribs. Keep your focus on the abs. While you lower these down, using the core. Take a child's pose for a moment. Move around if you like, however you want to do it. And we're going to do the same thing that we did already from the position of all fours, or if you're feeling strong enough, from your position of plank. And if you can always drop it, if you're finding that's too difficult, obviously, you know that. And switch sides. So that back foot, it doesn't come up so high because if it did, then your hip would come up too, right? So don't take it so high. And we're lowering those down, back into child's pose. And we're coming up from here. This is a back strengthener. Roll your toes under, shift your body weight back, and just feel this band of muscle working together. They cooperate, the front muscles and the back muscles. Squeeze the shoulders, lift the heart. Shifting the body weight to the degree that you're saying, oh yes, I can feel my back muscles strengthening. Nope, they're not straining. You go back a little farther, something's straining, then you need to come out of it, okay? But don't cheat yourself by not going there either, so make sure you get there. And breathe strength there. Perfect. Up from there, take one of your feet forward. Doesn't matter which one. Take it forward. Come here. Start to take this back knee back. Stay there and breathe. So you feel the very top of this thigh open up, that back leg. Stay there. Drop the hip a little more. Then the toes of your front foot are going to creep out just a little bit more. Right there. Drop the hips even more. You're going to take that back knee Walk it back a little bit more. And your arms, you're holding yourself up with your arms, so you don't have to drop all your body weight into these legs. That might be too deep of a stretch. So you use the strength of your arms to come out of that stretch a little bit, or bend the elbows and go deeper into the stretch if that's what your body is needing right now. Maybe you can slide that heel out a little bit more. Maybe you can slide that back leg back a little bit more. Reposition your hands to where it's reasonable to hold yourself. Breathing. Use the strength of your arms. Don't go too deeply, too quickly. Stay with it. Stay with it. Take a breath in. What feels most tight here? Breathe out. Let go of that tightness. Stay on it. These muscles didn't get tight in a minute. They're not going to loosen up in a minute. So we'll take several breaths. And as you breathe out that tightness, gravity's just going to start to take your hips, right? And then eventually, maybe, you get into one of these full-on splits, but not that that's the goal. We're looking for the deepest stretch that you can get today. So if you're down here and you do splits regularly, maybe for you it's going to be into a forward bend over this front leg. But wherever it is for you, you know that it's right for you, okay? We're going to drop back on that butt cheek. We're going to bring these feet together. Butterfly the legs. Good. Press the knees down. Hip openers. I told you. We're doing hip openers. And you're welcome. Okay, so back to all fours. Do your cat. Very fluid here. Nice, and we're going to roll up, again with the back strengthener. So if you want to just keep your feet flat on their tops, that's fine. If you want to roll them over, that's fine too. Find out what's good for you. If you've been doing this for a while, you can go deeper into a camel pose. Stay here, lifting, opening, breathing, strengthening. Be with the process of strengthening. It is a process. We didn't get weak in a minute, so we're not going to get strong in a minute. That's awesome. Good, good, good. Use all your core muscles. I want you to think about it. Core muscles bringing you up. Feel that. It's nice, right? Okay, take your other foot forward. And stay right here. Just take that back leg back a little bit. Just a little bit. We're taking our time. We're really giving these muscles and these joints the time that they need. So creep those toes out. A little bit. So you've created a little bit of a deeper stretch, and we're going to be there for a breath or two. And then you'll slide that back knee back a little bit more, and then you'll stay there. Position your hands to wherever you need for them to be to support your body weight. We don't want to give the stretch our complete body weight, at least not yet. So maybe you can just slide that heel out a little bit. Stay here, breathing. Breathing in, notice what's most tight. Breathing out, let go of that tension. And then you'll just naturally begin to sink deeper and deeper into the stretch. Be with the process. Where's the tension now? We have a new spot to explore where we're holding on to tightness. Breathing in, breathing out, let go of that tension. Let gravity have your hips, and at the same time, your strong upper body, your arms are going to support just how deeply you go into that stretch. And remember, we also have this forward bend over here too, if you like. Good stuff, right? All right, drop it over on that butt cheek, swinging that leg around. And this time we're going to open them both like so. So get yourself a nice wide stretch here. All the way from the very tops of your inner thighs. I want you to feel this gently through the knees. They're involved. straight down, and then flex your feet just a little bit so your toes are pointing up, and come forward, breathe, come forward a little more, breathe, and a little more. Just like with the other movement, we just go real slow and become increasingly aware of what's happening in your hips, in your brain. It doesn't do us any good to say things to ourselves like, oh man, I'm so tight. I wonder why I'm so tight. I wish I wasn't so tight. How did I get to be so tight? Right? That's tight thinking. No, focus on, oh yes, right here. That feels really good. I can notice a little bit at the very top of my right thigh just popped open. Oh yeah, I'm going to breathe peace into that little spot there. Oh, now I can feel this in my lower back opening up and releasing. Versus, oh man, this is really, why is my back so tight? I never should have done whatever, this beating ourselves up kind of stuff. No. Peace to the body and peace to the mind, and focus on those things, the parts of the body that are saying thank you or feeling liberated or energized. Yeah, right? That's the good stuff. That's where it's at. So just stay down as low as you can or want to, and bring your hands over to one side, any side, don't matter. Relax your shoulders here. So it takes 20 seconds for your brain to send a message to any part of the body that you're stretching. 20 seconds. Just so that part of the body gets the message, hey, we're going to stretch now. 20 seconds. That's just getting there. So it takes us 20 seconds just to get there. Physiologically, for the neurological and the physiological connection to take place. 20 seconds. So then when we get there, it's ideal to stay maybe another minute. Not that I'm timing any of this. I'm going by feel. So if it feels good for you to stay there a little longer, go for it. I'm going to stay low while I walk myself slowly around to the other side. And as I do that, I'm saying, oh yeah, my lower back is starting to get a nice stretch. Oh, my other hip is starting to feel it. Oh, I can see that my knee is releasing now. So explore what wonderful things are happening inside your body right now. Breathe in the beauty. That sweet stretch. The opening of the meridians. The increased energy flow going where the blockage once was. Breathe out the blockage. And then we'll just bring ourselves right back on to center again. Bringing ourselves up, 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 up. And we'll butterfly these legs one more time. And you can stay with the straight butterfly, just to keep them moving. That's fine. You could send those knees down and just really hold that hip opener. Or if you like, you can come into a turtle pose and just kind of bring those hands underneath your legs and bring your face towards your feet. This one tends to get me more in the lower back in a good way. I feel this more my lower back opening here. This is why I prefer it. So, but you choose the one that you prefer for your body, how it's feeling right now. But we are going to stay with it. Giving the brain and the body ample time to connect. For that mind-body connection to take place. And we're coming up from there. And we're going to return to all fours. So from this position of all fours, you could stay here and just really focus on your core. Or if you can, and you want to join me in plank, I promised you some planks. These are great core strengtheners, and we're going to do side plank. And I want you to really feel the obliques coming up. We've still got that little pelvic tilt. Our bodies are still straight like a plank. Stay here. So ideally, we want to stack the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder directly on top, versus like on an angle. I don't know if you can see that. Like if I was on an angle like that. So we want to get that forearm, well, the entire arm actually, perpendicular with the floor. Really working it. And to the other side, same thing. Same thing. Knowing you can always rest that knee on the floor, just don't drop down. We've still got everything active, everything strong. Close the ribs. You got a little pelvic tilt. And we'll return to high plank. Hands and feet lined up perfectly. Keep your hands and feet exactly where they are. Resist the temptation to move them when you go to your down dog. Press your heels down, lift your tailbone up. Close your ribs. Breathe. So take your right leg to the ceiling. Let the left heel drop down. The right leg is up, the left heel is dropping. We're going to stay with this leg up in the air, but come to plank. So keep it up in the air. Keep it up, keep it up. Bring this knee to the opposite elbow. And then we're going right back up into down dog. So let's breathe in here and breathe out, knee to opposite elbow. Breathe in as it lifts. Breathe out. You'll notice that my left heel goes back down. When my right leg goes up, the heel goes down. One more. And then hold your down dog. Get back into a really good solid downward stance, downward facing dog pose. Other leg goes up. Hold it. Right heel goes down. Activate your core. Little pelvic tilt. Breathe in here. Bring this knee to the opposite elbow. Breathe out. Breathe in. Lift it. Every time, lift it high. Every time it lifts high, the other heel goes down. Inhale as it goes up. Exhale. Knee to opposite elbow. And then hold your down dog. Steady in your down dog. Pelvic tilt. Ribs closed. Onto the forearms. Keep your down dog. Moving from your strong core. High plank, or low plank rather. Down dog. And your low plank, breathe out. Breathe in, down dog. But the whole time you're thinking of your core, you're activating your core, you're moving from your core. Your strong arms might try to muscle you up. Make it core work. Cool, one more time. And then just hold Sphinx Pose. Lift the heart. Press those shoulders down. You should feel some lower back activity happening here in terms of strength, not strain, of course. So if you're just sinking down into it and you're all like, la la la, you're probably not strengthening your back. So strengthen your back and then la la la, la la la, strengthen that back. Point those toes, point that tailbone, lift your heart. Cool. All right, lower down. Take one arm up, opposite leg. Keep pressing your hip bones into the floor. Lower these down. Other arm, opposite leg. Just both legs. Lower those, both arms. Lower those and lift everything. Unless your body is rejecting this for whatever reason, you got stuff going on, then do not do it, please. And child's pose. Great work. Oh, yay. In child's pose, just get all loose and squiggle around, do whatever you got to do. Nice. So we're going to do that again with a slight variation. Now, if you've discovered in that process that we just did there for the back, that you realize, no, this is like a better thing is to be done for my back. Do the better thing for your back. But if you can, when your arms are out like this, I want you to press your hip bones into the floor right now. Just press your hip bones. Become aware of your ribs. Press those into the floor. Yet you're going to try to pull the stomach muscles up a little bit. So without going anywhere, if you just did that, press your hip bones, press your ribs, and pull the belly button up, you would be really strengthening your core. That's all you got to do. But you know, it's never enough for me, so. All of that. Hips and ribs are pressing, but your belly button's pulling up. Tiny little swimmies right here. Keep pulling the belly button up. This is a back strengthener. Straight arms, straight legs. Belly button's pulling up. Hip bones pressing down. Ribs pressing down. A lot of core work here. 10, 9, breathe. Keep pulling that belly button up. 4, 3, 2, 1, child's pose. And however you like your child's pose, make it your own. Connect with your inner child on that one. Have some fun with it. I'm coming back to all fours and fluid with the cat-cow. Moving with the breath. Connecting the mind to the body. This is your core here that's pulling up and tightening. This is your core here that's moving down and opening. Think about that. Nice strong core. All right, so we're returning to high plank, knowing you can always rest your knees on the ground. Side plank, you can always rest that bottom knee on the floor. That top leg's going to lift up 15 times. Let's go. 2, and 1. Back to high plank. Same thing on the other side. Ready, set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. High plank. And again, your child's pose, unless you prefer cat-cow or down dog or whatever. We're just stretching it out now. Breathe. Cool. And then we're coming up. All right, so one more of these. Back strength, and roll those toes under. Lean back a little bit, or lean back a lot. You could do one arm up, both arms up, both arms down, or protect and support your sacrum, your lower back. Whatever you gotta do, make it yours. And cat-cow. Great job, everybody. You're doing awesome. Very focused work today. I'm proud of you. Good. And we're coming into down dog once again. Let's take that right leg up. Stretch it. Left heel goes down. And we're getting ready for pigeon, so bring that right knee towards your right hand. Your right knee to the right hand. And get your heel out of the way. Get your foot out of the way. And drop your hips down into this space that you just created. Don't drop your butt cheek over on your mat. Don't do that. So that back knee goes under. Drop the hips down into that space. Yes. Breathe the knee into peacefulness. Breathe your hips into peacefulness. Your shoulders, your heart, your brain, all that stuff. Peacefulness. Just walk those hands out. And we'll walk them out a little bit more if you can. Listen to your body. Ultimately, we'll look to come all the way down. When you are all the way down, rock your hips just a little bit left and right. And see if you can determine when both of your hips are about equal distance off of the floor. That's what we're looking for with the hips. And then do the same thing with your shoulders, with your ribs, with your sternum. And then get that equal as well, as best to your ability. Staying here and just breathing. pose, it's easy to just like drop into a very passive expression of pigeon. But we want to stay really very active. Keep working the hips and the shoulders equal distance from the floor. Stay there and then start to press your chest closer to the floor, and that will make the stretch deeper, but you might not have to go there, so listen to your body. And we're going to come up from there. Don't come up too fast. Come up from there. Now we are going to drop over onto that butt cheek for just a quick moment. We're going to take this back leg and swing it around. Swing it around and hold it up. And again, behind the leg if you want, behind the knee if you prefer. Just hold it up. Hold it up. And fix your posture. And the leg that you're holding on to, bring it across your body, across the midline of your body, and then just twist. Twist over your straight leg, the hip of your straight leg. For me, it's my left leg that's straight, so I'm twisting over my left hip, my left shoulder. Fix that posture. Good, good, good. Breathe out, twist. And switch hands. We're going to take this and open here. Open. Get a big stretch right through that inner thigh. There it is. Open. Open. And use the strength of this arm to draw that leg back. Yeah, right? Fix your posture. And so yeah, this leg, leave it up. Let go of it, but leave it up, leave it up, leave it up. We're bringing it right behind us again, back to our pigeon. Roll those toes under and we'll come into down dog. Down dog, move it, walk it, shake it, whatever you like, whatever you like. Let it feel alive and happy. So the other leg's coming up. Right heel goes down. I'm bringing that left knee to my left hand. Check your hips. Don't drop over on that butt cheek. Don't do it. Resist the temptation. Stay there. Allow the initial openings to occur naturally with each breath. And then begin your forward journey, walking out. Feels great, doesn't it? Come onto your elbows if you like, or just keep on walking all the way out. And then again, just rock on the hips a tiny little bit, shifting left and right, until you can say, okay, I'm aware of my left hip bone, I'm aware of my right hip bone. I'm going to try to make them equal distance off the floor. So see if you can make that happen. We don't have to get like so type A about it, just, roughly you can feel that both hips are busy. And then the same with the shoulders, with your rib cage. There'll be a tendency for the body to want to shift just a little bit. And as you start to notice that, you can be sure that you just have to take your energy in the opposite direction and bring it back again, okay? Bring it back from sinking into passiveness. Actively breathing it open. Every now and again, ever so subtly, move the left hip, move the right hip, and keep yourself honest, you know what I mean? So stay there. Get that good stretch. Oh, yes. And we're coming up from there, and it's the back leg that we're swinging around, swing it around. Hold on to it, wherever it is for you. Find it, find it, find it. The right place for you to be. And then just fix your posture. So if it's your right leg that's out, it'll be your left hand that holds it, and you're going to bring this leg across the midline of the body while you twist over that shoulder, over that hip. Lift the chest, get a good posture here, a good lengthened spine. Shoulders are down, but the spine is so long. And the strength of the arm that you're holding your foot with is bringing that leg across the midline of the body while you simultaneously twist in the opposite direction. That's good stuff. Okay, switch hands, open up. Open up, open up. And you're going to use this strong arm to bring that leg back farther. And again, picture posture. So both arms are busy. The one that's not holding on to anything has a lot of energy, a lot stretching out. The other one that's holding that foot is pressing that leg back. Even if you're holding on at the shin, you're using the strength of this arm to push that leg open gently, of course. And again, we're looking for the positives. Training our brains to search for the positives. Oh yeah, my knee is finally opened a little bit more. Yeah, oh, my shoulder feels so much better. Whatever it is. Cool. So, we're going to just bring this leg down and unwind the other one and just give a little energy, a little massage to those legs. Inhale the arms up and a forward bend. Wherever your hands go, doesn't matter. What matters is that the shoulder blades separate. The lower back releases. Breathe into it. Your gluteal muscles begin to open. Go ahead and breathe into them. Send the backs of your knees a little closer to your mat. You'll feel your thighs tighten up. Breathe into that. Drop your head a little heavier like a rock if you can, maintaining all those other things we just discussed. Tuck your chin. And then release your hands and slowly roll up. Use your strong stomach muscles. Pull them in, pull them in, pull them in, pull them in. And we're going to point the toes, more so the balls of the feet. We're going to come into incline plank. All these planks are so great for core strength. Stay on it. You're doing great. Breathing. And we're lowering down and coming into that forward bend once again. Hey, you might notice that you can go deeper this time. Really tuck the chin so you can feel the neck stretching out. Separate the shoulder blades. You can feel that stretch pretty much from the occipital clear down to your tailbone. And again, slowly we're rolling up using all that strong core that you got. I'm so proud of you. And then come to lie on your back. So remember in our warm-up we did bridge. When we did bridge. This time we're going to go a little bit stronger and a little bit deeper into bridge. Don't hurt yourself. Bring your heels close to the buttocks. Get them in there, close. Feet flat on the floor, parallel with one another. Before you go anywhere, do a pelvic tilt. Feel everything engage. The buttocks, the stomach muscles, the ribs close, right? That belly button pulls in. Take your engaged core up, 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 up. And now you are going to find the highest point that you can bring your bridge because we're warmed up and these muscles are ready for it. But what we're not going to do is expand the belly. I don't know if you saw that. Okay, we don't have to lift so high that the ribs have to open because today's focus is core strength. So maintain that little bit of a pelvic tilt. If you know Kegel, do that. Your pelvic floor is very much a part of our core strength. Your core strength. My pelvic floor, my core strength. Your pelvic floor, your core strength. Wouldn't that be great if somebody else's core strength made mine better? Well, it doesn't work that way. So squeeze your own core and I'll squeeze mine and let's do it. Pelvic tilt. We're using a lot. The hamstrings, yes. The buttocks, yes. The lower back, the middle back. The ribs, the stomach, the pelvic floor. And then imprint your spine back onto your mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Go very, very, very slowly here. Very slowly. It's all strength. We're not using gravity. We're not using any momentum to lift up because we're lifting up again, but sheer strength. Okay, when your lower back or your buttocks touches the floor again, don't release there. Keep everything engaged. We're moving the engaged muscles up to the highest point that you can before losing them to a splayed out or opened up abs and ribs. Slowly lower down. Keep that pelvic tilt. You can almost exaggerate the pelvic tilt here. And the buttocks does touch your mat, but we're not going to just drop and release everything. Everything stays engaged and then come back up again. Pelvic tilt, even when you're up here, the hips are tucked under a little bit. And lower back down one more time. And we'll return to happy baby pose here. Rock a little bit. This should feel really good for your lower back, you guys. It should be like, oh, yes. And if that's not your experience, then change something about what you're doing so that your back and your hips will say, thank you, that feels wonderful. What, your back and your hips don't say things like that to you? All right, stop at center. Still hold on, and we're pressing these heels away from the midline of the body. And again, our arms are going to assist in this hip stretch here. Press the heels away. If you want to put your hands on top, that's fine, or on the insides of your knees. I know some people like to do it that way. You just find the one that's good for you. And be there. Pressing those heels away, though, really opening with the intention to open up the inner thighs and the hips. And we'll bring those knees into the chest. And first, just hug them in like so. Just bring them in. And then if you can, cross your arms behind your knees. Clasp your elbows if you can. And then relax things like your feet, your knees, your lower back, your shoulders. Breathe. Perfect. Rest those feet on the floor. Okay, so we're going to drop both of the knees to one side. Roll your head away from your legs. Stay there. I'm going to scooch just a little bit here. So the knees have dropped. Bring those arms out in a T position. Roll your head away from your knees. Good. Breathe. Let the initial layer of stuff go. Just let it go. Let it go. Get rid of it. Take your top leg, the one that's facing the ceiling, and straighten it out. Straighten it out and then rest it on the floor. And that'll be at a different place for each of us, but rest it on the floor. And take the hand that's over there and just rest it on the top of that hip or the knee. I'm going to bring my foot up even higher, and I'm going to try to grab my foot or my ankle. And that should deepen your stretch. If it's too deep, back off. But we're looking to get a deep stretch here. And you can stay right there, or you can release it, or you can take this other hand that's got nothing to do and grab a hold of this foot that's got nothing holding it. And then we're in a little bit of a deeper stretch. And then this shoulder here, the one that's facing you, you can see the one I'm moving. Okay, that shoulder, I'm going to try to get it down to the floor. So in order to do that, I wiggle myself over a little bit more. Good. So yeah, it's a very twisted, crazy position. And that's why I love it. So the shoulders are pressing, the ear is pressing, the top leg is straight and we're holding it, the bottom leg is bent and we're holding it. And now you want to find what's most tight and give it that breath of peace. Go ahead, do it. And sometimes one breath isn't enough. Give it 2, 3 breaths of peace and compassion. Feels great, doesn't it? Do that one more time. Big breath in. Sending peace to any and all places that are freaking out right now. Sweet. Release all of that. Bring everything back to center. Rock on your spine just to reset it. Get it back straight again. And we'll plant those feet flat on the floor. Drop your knees the other direction, roll your head away. Stay here and just let everything that needs to open up initially, let it open up. And the leg that's on top, the one facing the ceiling, you're going to straighten it out and rest it on the floor. Rest it on the floor and let the other hand just rest on top of that leg somewhere. It'll just help keep it down. You can see how I'm just kind of working my foot up there. A breath or two. And this hand's over here saying, what about me? I got nothing to hold on to. And this foot's down here saying, what about me? Nobody's holding me. So I can grab it. Yep, that's what you got to do. Unless it hurts. And then you know what you got to do. And so I'm trying to just walk my shoulders a little bit to get that shoulder that's up off the floor closer to it. Now you don't have to force that that shoulder down to the floor. Just encourage it downward. If it touches, it touches. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No stress here. On the contrary, peace. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Stay right there on the edge of that stretch. We don't want to veg out and start bending the limbs and not really getting the most out of it. So get the best out of it that you can. Pressing the shoulder, pressing the ear, extending that top leg, drawing that back leg back. This may very well be one of the best ones for sciatica if you suffer from sciatic pain. In my humble opinion. So, peacefulness to the hips, to the back, to the shoulders. That feels fabulous. Okay, bring everything back to center. Roll on your spine once again. Roll on your spine. Beautiful. And rest your feet flat on the floor with the palms up. Stay here, take a breath in. Take one of your legs, rest it flat on the floor, take a breath in. Take the knee that's bent here and use your hands to really circle this hip joint. It's a ball and socket right there at the femur where it comes into the hip. Roll that ball. And then change direction. And then we're going to rest this one down. And before you get to the other leg, notice the left hip. Notice the right hip. Notice the left side of your lower back. Notice the right side of your lower back. Increase your awareness of what's happening internally. And remember, we're focusing on the positive, so maybe you're saying, oh man, it feels more energized, or it feels lighter, looser. But anyway, switch sides, get that ball and socket going. Come on, play ball. Move it around, move it around, move it around. And the other direction as well. Really keep that joint loose. You can go as slowly or as quickly as you like. Certainly not out of control. Perfect. And then let this one rest down next to the other. And again, just start to notice left side of the body, right side of the body. Same with the arms. Turn the left palm up, turn the right palm up. Front of the body, back of the body. Increasing your awareness. Breathing in. Breathing out. Stay there. Stay there. Keep that breath flowing in and flowing out. That wonderful, precious, life-giving breath. Core strength. We did a lot of physical core strength. But let us not forget the core of our mind, of our thoughts. What's at the center of that? What motivates you? What moves you through life? Our physical core is important, but so is our moral core. Who are you at your core? Does that need to be strengthened? Does that need to be more flexible? that need to be able to train to become more able to endure. Breathing in, breathing out. Remembering that if any negative thoughts creep in our practice or in our days or in our lives, it's up to us to say, oh, stop, no thank you, negativity. Change it to a positive and rewire your brain for a positive mental attitude, a positive physical healthy existence. Deep belly breath in, breathing out. And when you feel like it, start to wiggle those fingers and toes, draw the knees into the chest. There's no hurry to get up from where you are. Linger there as long as you need. Meditate here if you like before you start your day or continue your day. I thank you very much for being here. Much love and many blessings. Peace, light, and love to all. Namaste.